Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, depende de cuando ves este video. Feliz año nuevo, espero que sea lleno de felicidad y esperanza y espero que hayas descansado mucho durante las vacaciones. Hoy vamos a empezar una nueva unidad que se trata de la rutina diaria, our daily routine. In this unit, we're going to talk about a new type of verb called a reflexive verb, los verbos reflexivos. You're going to see that in your input guide, they do look a little different than what you may be accustomed to. Some of you may have some familiarity with it, with the concept of reflexive verbs. Others may not. But we're going to start at square one with that. But for today, we're just going to be, vamos a identificar el vocabulario, nada más. So you don't have to worry about that yet, but it's just a heads up that you are going to notice that some of the verbs look a little different. They have a se on the end, and you'll see what I mean when we start going through these. Pero antes de empezar, vamos a hacer un warm-up. Vamos a llenar una diagrama del cuerpo, las partes del cuerpo. So if you could all go to Google Classroom and van a bajar o descargar el documento of the chart with the body on it. And you're just going to take a couple minutes, not even, it won't even be that long, maybe un minuto, para llenar esta imagen, right? Aquí tenemos el banco de vocabulario. You're going to try to put these where they belong. Vamos a repasarlo después, and we'll go from there. This is not, you should be doing it right now as I'm talking. This is not vocab that you need to memorize. It is just, it's very useful to help you in being able to discuss more specifically your daily routine. It may help you to be able to refer to some of these words, like I said, to be more specific. You know, if you're talking about, washing, well, washing what? Oh, your hair. Okay, so you can say el pelo. You can use that. So that's where it's, helpful. Okay, so okay. Ok, número uno, en la cabeza, the head, ¿verdad? El cuello is the neck y la garganta is the throat. Número tres, el hombro is your shoulder. Y número cuatro, el brazo are arms. El verbo abrazar is the hug. And what do you hug with? Your arms. Brazo. Número 5, el estómago. Stomach. Número 6, la muñeca is your wrist y los dedos are your fingers. La rodilla, the knee. El tobillo, your ankle. Los dedos del pie. These would be your toes, right? Si los dedos are your fingers, los dedos of the foot, pie, are your toes. Okay, el pelo is hair. El ojo is your eye. So normally we would probably refer to it as los ojos for eyes. Same thing. La oreja, las orejas. This is the outer ear, right? Where you would put earrings or what have you. It's not referring to your inner ear. This is the outer ear. Okay. La nariz, your nose. La boca is your mouth. El pecho is your chest. El codo is your elbow. La mano, your hand. La pierna, your leg. Y el pie is foot. Okay, so again, all of these can be pluralized to mean more than one. It is not pie. Please remember, it's el pie. All right. So make sure you have this. Again, not necessary to memorize, okay? Pero es importante tener un vocabulario muy amplio y este vocabulario te va a ayudar en expresarte mejor cuando estás hablando de tu rutina diaria. Ok. Ok, ¿qué haces tú cada día? O todos los días, ok? From when you get up to when you go to bed, right? ¿Qué son las actividades? ¿Qué haces, right? So, despertarse. Despertarse. Ok, me despierto a las 5:15. Despertarse. Yo me despierto con una alarma. Ok. Despertarse. So afterwards, we will go over the meanings. ¿A qué hora te despiertas durante la semana? Bueno, depende, pero normalmente yo me despierto a las 5, a las 5:30 para alistarme para ir a trabajar. Pero últimamente me despierto a las 7, las 7:30. Ok, levantarse. Me levanto de la cama después de despertarme. Ok, es importante saber que levantarse y despertarse no son la misma cosa. Por ejemplo, me despierto con la alarma a las 5, pero no me levanto y me vuelvo a dormir. 20 minutos luego me despierto otra vez y me quedo ahí, pero no me levanto. Y media hora después me despierto otra vez y por fin me levanto. ¿A qué hora te levantas los domingos? Me levanto a las 11, me levanto a las 10, me levanto muy temprano para ir a la iglesia. Bueno, yo normalmente me levanto a las 7, a las 7:30, porque mis hijos no me dejan dormir, no me dejan que me quede en cama. Desayunar. Un verbo, desayunar. Yo desayuno. Como panqueques o cereal, también tomo mi café. ¿Desayunas tú? Todos los días porque es importante, cuando tienes tiempo. Well, this option probably not so much lately, but es posible que no desayunes en casa, que salgas, ¿verdad? A desayunar con amigos. Lo único que puedo decir es que sí desayuno todos los días porque es muy importante y no aguanto el hambre. Bañarse. No me baño normalmente porque me ducho con agua caliente, ducharse. ¿Ok? Entonces tenemos bañarse y ducharse. Hay gente que dice esta palabra bañarse para referirse a ducharse. O sea, para ellos las palabras son iguales. ¿Ok? Lavarse. En este caso estamos hablando de la cara. Entonces me lavo la cara antes de ponerme la loción. Lavarse. Afeitarse. Me afeito. Este muchacho se afeita la cara y esta muchacha se afeita las piernas. Secarse. Me seco el cuerpo. Secarse es el verbo y en esta imagen se está secando el cuerpo. Secarse el pelo. Secarse el pelo. Ponerse el desodorante. Ponerse el desodorante. Me pongo el desodorante. So this is the same verb as poner that you know, right? So here it's ponerse, but this is the same verb, same meaning essentially, which should actually give you a little look into or hint as to what a reflexive verb is. So if poner means to put, right? To put or to place. Here with this say, it's to put on. oneself. Me visto. Frecuentemente me pongo el vestido y las botas. From the verb vestirse. Stem changer. So something to note, now things are going to start, you're going to start seeing patterns, you're going to start seeing that we're introducing more irregular verbs in different tenses. In this case we are in the present tense, but and this is clearly a stem changing verb. But my point is that the concepts are just going to start building. So it's not like what you learned in the first 2 units are now just something we throw away. It's all building upon that foundation that you have established from Spanish 1 and now in these first, few months of this year in Spanish 2. Now, granted, we are going more slowly and differently than we would proceed otherwise, but it is still important to make sure you have this base, these fundamentals down, so that as you build this new information, you're not becoming more lost. And if you are, you need to seek extra help because it's only going to get more complicated, more just more information given to you as we go through this. Okay. Cepillarse. Cepillarse los dientes. Me cepillo los dientes con la pasta dental de Crest. Cepillarse. Cepillarse el pelo. Okay. Mismo verbo, right? Same verb, different thing that we're talking about. Peinarse. Me peino el pelo. Notice these two are similar, but not exactly the same. Okay, tenemos cepillarse y peinarse. Maquillarse. Me maquillo. Me pongo el maquillaje en las mejillas y las pestañas. Maquillarse. Pintarse las uñas. Me pinto las uñas. You may recognize pintar, otro verbo from another unit. Used slightly different. Descansar. Descanso porque necesito relajarme. Voy a tomar un descanso. Right? Descansar. ¿Descansas después de las clases? Sí, veo televisión para descansar. No, porque usualmente tengo entrenamiento, practice, right? No, porque hago la tarea después de las clases. Me imagino que ustedes están muy ocupados después de las clases. So I'm sure you're not really descansando mucho because you have a lot of things going on. Okay. Hacer ejercicio. Hacer ejercicio. ¿Qué tipo de ejercicio prefieres hacer? Me gusta correr, me gusta levantar pesas, hacer yoga, jugar deportes. No me gusta hacer ejercicio nada. Ok. Acostarse. Me acuesto a las 10:30. ¿A qué hora te acuestas los lunes? ¿A las 11, a las 10, muy tarde? ¿Y por eso tienes sueño durante las clases? O sea, estás cansado. Yo todos los días, bueno, me acuesto muy temprano, a las 8 por ahí, y me duermo viendo Netflix. Dormir. Ah, un error. Ahí, I should take out the necesito. Entonces, duermo porque tengo mucho que hacer mañana. Duermo. Dormir. Stem changer. Ok. Vamos a repasar los verbos. It would be in your interest to also write the English meaning. Lavarse, to wash. Now keep in mind, you could lavarse las manos, okay, lavarse el pelo. Okay, so there's multiple things you could lavarse. This actually should be lavarse la cara, which is the vocab word that we have down here in the word bank. So you're going to want to just have that there, lavarse la cara. But as I said, it's important to note that it doesn't have to just be la cara. You can lavarse like las manos, lavarse el pelo, lavarse el cuerpo, whatever it is. It's that lavarse is the verb to wash, okay? Lavarse la cara is specifically talking about the face. All right, just make sure you put that there, though. That is what we have in the word bank because that's the focus in this unit here. Okay, número dos. Levantarse, to get up. Remember what I said, that levantarse is different than despertarse, right? Despertarse, to wake up. But you can wake up and you can lay in bed for 3 hours, right? But until you te levantes, you're not up. So levantarse is the actual act of getting out of bed. Maquillarse, to put on makeup. Cepillarse el pelo, to brush one's hair. Now, again, cepillarse is the verb. So cepillarse can work for a couple different things. You can brush, well, I guess you're really only brushing two things. You can brush your teeth, you can brush your hair. Okay, afeitarse. Now again, afeitarse, to shave. You can afeitarse la cara, afeitarse las piernas, right? Okay. Cepillarse los dientes, to brush one's teeth. Peinarse, to comb. Peinarse el pelo, to comb one's hair. That's most likely all you're going to be combing. Okay. Ducharse, to shower. Vestirse, to get dressed. Another term or phrase you may hear for this is ponerse ropa, to put on clothes. Vestirse or ponerse ropa. Like vestirse is the verb to get dressed. Ponerse, literally to put on clothes. Pintarse las uñas, to paint one's nails. Secarse el cuerpo. So this you can just say secarse, secarse el cuerpo, either one. We have it just as secarse, but if you want to be a little more specific in what you're saying, secarse el cuerpo, to dry off your body. But you can just write secarse because we can secarse other things. We can secarse, our hair with a towel. We can secarse, your hands after you wash them. So it doesn't, just have to be that. Okay. Ponerse el desodorante, to put on deodorant. Descansar, to rest. Desayunar, to eat breakfast. This is literally the verb to eat breakfast. Now, could you say comer desayuno, to eat, and then the noun breakfast is desayuno? Yes, you could also say that. But desayunar is the way to put it as a verb. Just like almorzar is to have lunch and cenar is to eat dinner. These are verbs to specifically mean those meals that you're eating. Okay. Acostarse, to get into bed. Literalmente, ir a la cama. irse a la cama, right? To take yourself to bed. Acostarse. Okay, secarse el pelo. Now this is specifically to dry your hair. Okay. Hacer ejercicio. To do exercise. Dormir. To sleep. Despertarse. To wake up. This will often be like you'll often see this represented with some sort of like alarm clock. That's kind of the key there, right? Because we know this is not just getting up, it's a question of literally going from a state of being asleep to waking up. And then bañarse, to take a bath. So a couple things I want to say real quick before we continue. Sometimes you may hear people refer to bañarse for saying ducharse. Like instead of saying that they're going to ducharse, they'll just say me voy a bañar, like I'm going to go shower. And they use bañarse. That's very common in Latin America to just say bañarse for both to bathe and to shower. So if that's not wrong necessarily, but ducharse is the verb to shower, and for our purposes bañarse is to bathe, but it's not incorrect to utilize it the other way as well. The other thing I want to mention is for all of these that have other like the noun with it or the object. So secarse, like secarse el cuerpo, secarse el pelo, the ponerse el desodorante, pintarse las uñas, right? What's important to take from it is that you need to have an understanding that is the verb. Cepillarse, secarse, ponerse. Those are the verbs. And then these other words can be interchanged with something else. But you need to have an understanding of what the verb means. So to dry, to brush, okay? To paint in that case, to put on, all right? And then these could be interchanged. Now, for some of them, we do want you to specifically know, like cepillarse el pelo, to brush one's hair, okay? Lavarse la cara, to wash one's face. But just knowing that you can interchange those with other parts of the body. Okay. Now